I think he'll be a lot more clued up on how to outbox him, how to judge his distance, what punches worked, what punches don't, and where to be in the ring. Hello everyone and welcome to another episode on the Ordinary Boy Boxing channel. Now in today's video, it's my quick pick, my prediction for the upcoming fight on Saturday between Beterbiev and Bivol. This is a rematch, of course, from their spectacular fight, I believe it was last year. In that fight, it went to the decision and Beterbiev got the nod. This is a rematch. The reason this rematch is happening, I think, there's a few reasons. Number one, I believe it was probably in the contract. But secondly, it was quite a controversial decision. Now, before I go into my prediction, I just want to talk a little bit about that first fight. I watched it live. I've not re-watched it. That may be a video for another time. But the only time I've watched the fight was live. I had it, by the end of the fight, I had Bivol winning on points by I think 2 or 3 rounds. That wasn't the decision that the judges gave. The decision was to Beterbiev, which I was quite surprised at the time. Throughout that first fight, Beterbiev was obviously the more aggressive, which we thought he would be. But for me, Bivol outboxed him enough rounds to win that fight. But Beterbiev got the nod, and we have this rematch. It is the main event on an amazing card. Obviously, you have the likes of Dubois and Parker fighting. You have Zhang and Kabayel. There's loads of different fights on this card, and it is shaping up to be one of the best cards that we've had in quite a while. Going on to this fight, this rematch. Obviously, I spoke about the previous encounter. The fighting styles, as I mentioned, expect much of the same. Expect Beterbiev to be pressuring Bivol, going for the knockout, not giving him much space, having him up against the ropes. He's such a hard hitter, Beterbiev. I mean, look at his previous fights, that he knows if he lands, and if he lands correctly, he can hurt anyone, including Bivol. Bivol, again, more of a boxer, will be trying to outbox Beterbiev, which I believe he did in the first fight. Obviously, both men will go into this fight slightly differently, because fighters always do when there's a rematch. But I think they're going to be doing much of the same. So when I say that, Beterbiev, I think will fight in the same style. He fights the same way pretty much all the time. I expect Beterbiev to be pressuring Bivol again. I expect this time for it to be a little bit more intelligent pressure. There was times when Bivol was making Beterbiev look silly because he was just coming forward and getting outboxed while he was doing it. As for Bivol, he obviously didn't get the decision. He's going to want to make sure that this time he does. So I expect Bivol to throw more punches. I think that's probably what let him down with the judges. He just didn't throw enough punches. And I think he's probably going to work on stamina. So, because I gave Beterbiev the end of that fight, the last few rounds, if Bivol can keep that stamina up, hopefully he gets a nod this time. Age and experience, there is a bit of an age gap between the two. Beterbiev is turning 40 soon, whereas Bivol is only at 33. So the prime man, if you look at age, is Bivol. We'll be interested to see if that does make a kind of, if that does decide the outcome of this fight. He didn't the first time, but you never know. When fighters are nearing 40, they can grow old overnight. You never know if that can happen to Beterbiev. Whoever wins this fight is the king of the division, as was the first time. So we give that to Beterbiev the first time. He is the king of the division. If Bivol can win, then it cements his career, especially after that fantastic win over Canelo. And he was undefeated until he fought Beterbiev. Anyway, on to my prediction for Beterbiev versus Bivol number 2. I expect this fight to go the distance again. I expect a better Bivol. As I said earlier, I expect him to throw more punches. I feel like in this camp he's probably worked on stamina. That's going to be the most important thing, so he can have a good run at the end of this fight. I feel like this fight goes similar to the first, apart from Bivol is even more obviously the winner. I expect Beterbiev to be Beterbiev, to throw punches, hard punches, try and cut off the ring, not give Bivol space. But I think this time, after having shared 12 rounds with Beterbiev, I think he'll be a lot more clued up on how to outbox him, how to judge his distance, what punches worked, what punches don't, and where to be in the ring. I think out of the two, Bivol is the more clever puncher, the more clever boxer, and I got a feeling that's going to show in this fight. I think the age thing is a slight factor, with Beterbiev being the older of the two, but I also think the experience from the first fight, who's going to take more away from that first fight? And I truly believe Bivol is going to learn a lot more than Beterbiev will. I think Beterbiev just fights in that one way, and I think that'll be the same way he fights. So barring a robbery, which the last fight, would I call it a robbery? No, I think a robbery to me is when it's really wide and it was obvious the other person won. If it had been a draw, I wouldn't have even had an argument with it. But I thought if you were going to pick one, you'd pick Bivol. So I won't call the last fight a robbery, but Bivol needs to make sure that he's impressing the judges. Obviously, let's just say the judges were on the up and up, which I think they probably were for this fight. They obviously some judges just like aggression more than anything, and that's what gave Beterbiev the nod. This, as far as I know, will be different judges, so they'll like different things, which will help Bivol. And as I said, I think he'll learn more from that previous fight than Beterbiev will. So my quick pick for Beterbiev versus Bivol 2 is Bivol to win by unanimous decision. Please do let me know in the comments below who you're picking for the big fight, Beterbiev versus Bivol. If you've enjoyed this video, then please give it a like, and most importantly, please do not forget to subscribe, and I shall see you all in the next video.